This doesn't really come as a shock to anyone, but there is a woke podcaster out there who is incredibly jealous of the massive success that Joe Rogan has seen with Spotify, and that is Marc Maron, the really incredibly unfunny comedian who is very, very upset and envious of Joe Rogan. So Marc Maron slams fellow comedian slash podcaster Joe Rogan, says he isn't worth Spotify deal. Now that's very interesting that he would say that, because obviously Spotify has offered him the deal, which means that Spotify found him worthy of that deal, which means that indeed he is worth that deal. But with all of that being said, Marc Maron assures us that he is not jealous of Joe Rogan. No. He is not jealous at all. So let's go ahead and get into this interview between him and the other guy that he's talking to, Tom Segura. So he says, perhaps it's a case of the green-eyed monster. Comedian and podcast host Marc Maron insulted Joe Rogan this week, suggesting the highest paid podcaster in the world isn't worth the $100 million Spotify offered him to move his show exclusively to that platform. And this isn't the first wokester who is very, very upset about Joe Rogan. There's many wokesters out there who are very angry at Joe Rogan, because he will not push a narrative, he will not push an agenda, he will not engage in the woke nonsense, and instead, Joe Rogan is willing to have conversations with pretty much anybody on his platform, and that is something that Marc Maron can't stand. He can't stand it because Joe Rogan has found success in that. Joe Rogan has found success in having conversations with people he disagrees with. Marc Maron absolutely despises that, I am sure. So the WTF Marc Maron host was a guest on Tom Segura's show, Two Bears, One Cave, on Monday, where he suggested Rogan is overcompensated. And of course, we're seeing this all the time from the wokesters, right? They always make this claim that there's certain people who are overcompensated. They do this with a lot of athletes as well, which just isn't the case. The market determines how much you get paid. The same thing is happening to Joe Rogan as well. So it is what it is. Get over it and try to become a better podcaster, Marc Maron. The Glow star began by slamming Rogan's decision to relocate from Los Angeles to Austin, Texas last year, comparing it to a 2009 horror movie that centered on a villain forcing captives to eat feces. There's like a human centipede in Austin, he said. It's Elon Musk, Joe Rogan, and 3 middle acts. So, yes, of course. Of course, Marc Maron is very, very upset with Elon Musk as well. So Segura has recently moved to Austin, but Maron wasn't bothered by his interviewer's decision to live in the city he called Hipster Alamo. You're different, he assured Segura. You're your own guy. You're your own life. You weren't one of the guys who rented out space in Joe's ass. I mean, Joe Rogan is literally his own guy as well, so it's kind of weird that you are then going to take shots at him literally seconds later. Maron then said that listeners would assume he was making fun of Rogan out of jealousy. People are going to see that and say, look at Maron, he's bitter. Why wouldn't I be? He laughed. $100 million for going, I don't know. Really, I don't know, man, he said in imitation of Rogan's interview style. Maron added, I'm not going to accept Austin as the next Shangri-La. It's still Texas. So, and of course, you know, this is all one of the reasons why they are so upset with Rogan is because Rogan has taken shots at woke nonsense in the past as well. So Rogan, on the other hand, has often taken pains to interview those who have been canceled, and has warned that if the woke have their way, straight white men won't be allowed to speak publicly anymore, which is, we're seeing that happening right now. And it's not really so much the straight white men, it's more so the conservative mindset, because Gina Carano is someone who is a conservative who has also been canceled herself. So with that being said, this is what Joe Rogan had to say. You can never be woke enough. That's the problem. It keeps going. It keeps going further and further and further down the line. Exactly. You will never be woke enough. You can never do it. And if you get to the point where you capitulate, where you agree to all these demands, it will eventually get to straight white men are not allowed to talk, because it's your privilege to express yourself when other people of color have been silenced throughout history. It will be you're not allowed to go outside because so many people were in prison for so many years. I mean, I'm not joking. It really will get there. And I completely agree. It's only going to continue to get worse. The more that you pander to the woke, the more that you give them an inch, they're going to take it a mile. And they have, and they're going to continue to take it mile after mile after mile, because companies, corporations, businesses, individuals continue to give them an inch. And even people who are conservatives continue to give them an inch in some ways as well. Ben Shapiro is someone who has given the woke an inch every once in a while. And some of the other people at Daily Wire, and I'm disgusted by them. Like, what are you doing? You people are insane. So, and of course, this Maron has tended to be a defender of cancel culture, while Rogan has typically been a critic of the trend. So really the only thing that's off the table culturally at this juncture, and not even entirely, is shamelessly punching down the sheer joy of hurting people. Maron has said of online mobs demanding private citizens lose their livelihood for unpopular speech, which apparently he doesn't think it's hurting people at all, which it certainly is, for the sheer excitement and laughter that some people get from causing people pain, from making people uncomfortable, from making people feel excluded. You know, that excitement, which is literally what cancel culture does as well. So there's a huge, obviously a huge discrepancy and a huge double standard there. But Marc Maron is not a funny guy. Okay, I'm just gonna close with that because he absolutely is the least funny comedian ever. This was a clip of they did for his Netflix special, and it's called Around the World. Mostly Woke, End Times Fun, now available around the world. So it's called End Times Fun. But I watched this clip and I literally did not laugh at all. Let's go ahead and watch a little bit of this.
Yep. I am of the generation that needed waking. For sure. I think I'm about 85% woke. And the other 15 I keep to myself.
Ha 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 ha. Oh, that was so funny. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I can kind of see why Marc Maron didn't get the $100 million Spotify deal and Joe Rogan did. So, with that being said, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. What do you think about what Marc Maron has to say? He's obviously jealous of Joe Rogan. There's no doubt about that. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you in another video very soon.